This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, Bruchim Abam, welcome everyone, Shalom Aleichem. Today actually we have a very big agenda. We have 4 shiurim, and I'm going to start with something which is Mamash Matanim and Hashamayim regarding the significance of Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh, Chanukah. What is the importance of this occasion? Simply, we could say, well, the Yevanim try to take away Shabbos, and they try to take away Rosh Chodesh. So to celebrate on Chanukah, Shabbos and Rosh Chodesh is a very special occasion. But it may be much deeper than that. There's a very big question regarding what the Yevanim wanted to be mevatel. Because we find in the Medrash, in Bereshis Rabbah, on the pasuk that Bereshis Rabbah the Medrash interprets Choshech zu malchus Yavan she'gzeru al Yisrael kisvu lachem al keren hashar she'ein lachem chelek belekei Yisrael. The Yevanim made a decree: we have to ride on the horn of an ox, that we have no share in the God of Israel. So the Chida asks in this week's Parsha, Parshas Miketz in the Rosh David, really? But don't we have a tradition that the Yevanim try to be mevatel Shabbos, Chodesh, and Milah? So what was it? Did they want us to ride on the horn of an ox, that we have no share in God? Or were they trying to be mevatel Shabbos, Chodesh, and Milah? That's the question on the Chida. So it occurred to me this morning, really, I think a tremendous idea, that why did the Yevanim want to be mevatel Shabbos, Chodesh, and Milah? What do they have in common? The Maharal, as well as Rashi on the Medrash Rabbah, says, what is this decree? Kisvu lachem al keren hashar she'ein lachem chelek belekei Yisrael. What is this keren hashar, the horn of an ox? What they were aiming at, what they were getting at, was they wanted to be mevatel. They wanted to be ma'orer on Klal Yisrael. They wanted to awaken and arouse the sin of the golden calf, the Chet Egel. So they said, Kisvu lachem al keren hashar, meaning the Maharal says that the fact that the Jewish people made the Egel as soon as they left Egypt, that shows that we have no connection to him. Rashi likewise says that the decree of Kisvu al keren hashar ein lachem chelek Yisrael keloymar mala ani aleichem avoin ha'egel ki'ilu kasavtem al keren shel shar ein lachem chelek Yisrael. So this decree was, in essence, Hashem was awakened. The Yevanim wanted to awaken the sin of the golden calf. It's very interesting that what is Shabbos Rosh Chodesh? The Torah writes in Sim Tav Yud Zayin that originally Rosh Chodesh was given to the Jewish people as a Yom Tov, and it was the Nachala of the 12 Shvatim. The Rosh Chodesh belonged to the 12 Shvatim. But when we sinned with the Egel, Rosh Chodesh was taken away from the Jewish people. Rosh Chodesh was taken away from us. Now, who was it given to? It was given to the women. Rosh Chodesh was taken away from Klal Yisrael by the Chet HaEgel. Come Shabbos, and the Arizal says that when we stood on Har Sinai, Hashem gave the Jewish people crowns, and those crowns were taken away when we sinned with the golden calf. Come Shabbos, and Hashem says, Moshe Rabbeinu, I'll give you your crown. You didn't participate in the Egel. But Moshe Rabbeinu says, no, I'm not going to be stingy and hold the crowns for myself. I'm going to give it back to the Jewish people. Says Ari, that's the meaning. Yismach Moshe b'matnas chelkoi ki eved ne'eman karasaloi. Moshe will rejoice in his gift. He's a faithful servant. He doesn't hold it for himself. He gives it to the Jewish people. From here we see the following idea, that come Shabbos, and all the pigomim and all the infractions and whatever we impugn through the Chet HaEgel, we're able to be masakein through Shabbos. Shabbos transcends the Chet HaEgel. Because of the Chet HaEgel, we lost our crowns. Come Shabbos, we get the crowns back. In other words, Shabbos transcends, overcomes is a tikkun for the Chet HaEgel. So what is Shabbos Rosh Chodesh? Normally Rosh Chodesh is taken away from the Jewish people. But if Rosh Chodesh would ever come out on Shabbos, then Rosh Chodesh will be restored to its rightful place as the Yom Tif of the Jewish people. The reason why Rosh Chodesh is not a Yom Tif is because it was taken away because of the Chet HaEgel. But Shabbos transcends the Chet HaEgel. So if Rosh Chodesh comes out on Shabbos, then Rosh Chodesh is restored to a Yom Tif. Now listen, you look at the Musaf of Rosh Chodesh, you'll notice that it's not a Musaf of Shabbos, and it's not a Musaf of Yom Tif. And we keep on saying, Chodesh Aleinu b'yom HaShabbos hazeh u'b'yom HaChodesh hazeh. We keep on intertwining and intermingling the Shabbos with the Rosh Chodesh. From here we see that it's not that there are 2 days that happen to come out on the same day. That when Shabbos and Rosh Chodesh coincide, it is fused into a new entity called Shabbos Rosh Chodesh, and it becomes a Yom Tif. Therefore, there's a special nusach that is legislated for Shabbos Rosh Chodesh. It's not the Shabbos nusach, it's not the Yom Tif nusach, it's the nusach of Shabbos Rosh Chodesh, the new Yom Tif. It's the Yom Tif of retaining and restoring the place that Rosh Chodesh held before the Chet HaEgel. Now, by the way, that's the meaning of, we say on a regular Rosh Chodesh, Ahavas oilam tavi lahem. Eternal love bring to them. Ubris avos, and the covenant of the forefathers that you made with the Shvatim that was lost, labanim tizkar. It means like this. Ubris avos, the covenant of the forefathers. Hashem has a covenant with Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Avraham is Pesach, Yitzchak Shavuos, Yaakov Sukkos. That covenant we don't have with the Banim, with the Shvatim, because we lost Rosh Chodesh. It's a tefillah that Rosh Chodesh should be restored. Bris Avos, the covenant to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, you should make that covenant with the Shvatim by restoring Rosh Chodesh as well. So when Shabbos comes out on Rosh Chodesh is restored to its rightful place. The Yevanim's goal was to bring and to arouse against the Jewish people the sin of the Egel. In order to do so, you ready for this? A new pshat. It's not that they wanted to be Mevatel Shabbos. It's not that they wanted to be Mevatel Chodesh. They wanted to be Mevatel Shabbos Rosh Chodesh. Because Shabbos Rosh Chodesh is a bittul to the Chet HaEgel. What about Milah? The Avudraham writes that at a Milah we say, V'omer lach b'damai chayi, V'omer lach b'damai chayi. Why? Why do we say V'omer lach b'damai chayi? There's an amazing Avudraham. Avudraham says that when we say b'damai chayi, we put from the wine with our finger on the edge, on the lip of the child, because the Medrash says that before Moshe Rabbeinu and Yeshua, before they killed the Yidden that sinned with the Egel, Moshe circumcised them, because for 40 years they didn't circumcise in the Midbar, and because the north wind didn't blow. But now that they were about to be killed, Moshe Rabbeinu did not want them to die without the Milah. So Moshe was Mol, Aaron was Pireah, Yeshua was Mashke, the offer of the Egel. And that Hashka b'shas Milah was Lamaves. So we say, B'damai Chayi. We say this Hashka at the time of the Milah should be L'chayim, not like by Yehoshua. So what do we learn from here? That as bad as the sin of the Egel was, but at least they had some degree of rectification through Milah. Or, as the Yismach Moshe writes, Yismach Moshe says that when we sinned, when Adam HaRishon sinned, it brought a certain Zuhama into man, and now we have to return to the ground, and the way we overcome that is through Milah, where we take the Arla, we put it in the ground, and that's a tikkun for the Chet of Adam HaRishon, but the Zuhama came back al yedei Chet HaEgel. So we see that Milah and Egel, in a certain regard, are opposites. And the greatest proof of this is brought in the Sefer Abduni B'Tapuchim. Rav Shlomo Arieli, he brings that Mila clearly is a tikkun for the Chet HaEgel, because Paroi saw in his astrology, Ru'u Kira Neged Penechem, and Paroi saw there was going to be blood in the Midbar, and the Kitrug on the Chet HaEgel, Rashi says, was transformed into Dam Mila. Paroi thought we would be destroyed through the Egel, but really, we were masaking that through the Dam HaMila. So it's not the Yevanim wanted to be Mavato three separate things. We can answer the Chidah's question. Was it Kisvu Lachem Al Keren Ashar? Or was it Chodesh, Mila, and Shabbos? We also asked, what's the common denominator between Chodesh, Mila, and Shabbos? So we're suggesting an idea that the main antagonism of the Yevanim was to be Ma'ar the Chet HaEgel. But in order to do so, it's not that they had to be Mavatel Shabbos, not that they had to be Mavatel Chodesh. They had to be Mavatel the day of the calendar that restores the Jewish people to pre-Chet HaEgel, namely Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh, and Mamela Mila as well. They weren't out to destroy three different mitzvahs, one inyan. The inyan is Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh, which overcomes the Chet HaEgel, and they needed to be Mavatel Mila, because Mila to a degree is also a tikkun for the Chet HaEgel. So therefore, the greatest way to overcome the Yevanim is not just Shabbos, is not just Rosh Chodesh, is not just Mila. To have Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh with the Bris Mila, with a Yid who is a Nimal on Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh, that is the ultimate victory of the Chashmonaim over the Yevanim. And this is, I think, a new perspective of the mitzvahs that the Yevanim try to be Mavatel. And this Shabbos then is not just the coincidement of two mitzvahs, but Shabbos and Rosh Chodesh fused together to create Mamash Yom Tif, as the Ben Ish Chai says, that of all the Shabbosais of the year, one should be Marbe Besudasai on Shabbos Chanukah, and especially if it's Rosh Chodesh. So that's offering number one for today, and we're going to do something on the Parsha.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.